Question 1. Change 450 centimeters into meters. So every 1 centimeter, no, every 100 centimeters is 1 meter. So to change from centimeters into meters, we need to divide by 100. So 450 divided by 100 is 4.5. So it's 4.5 meters. Question 2. Simplify 3f plus 5f minus f. When we've just got an f by itself, we can think of it as 1f. So 3f plus 5f is 8f. 3 plus 5 is 8. Take away 1f. 8 take away 1 is 7. So we've got 7f. Question 3. Work out 10% of 540. Without a calculator, we can say 540 divided by 10. To find 10%, we can divide by 10. And that will be 54. But we do have a calculator. Wherever we have of, we can change it into a times. So we can do 10% times 540. And 10%, the percent is there. 10% times 540 finds 10% of 540, and that is 54. And this will work for any percentage. So whatever percentage you wanted to find, you can do that percent times the number, and you get your answer. So the answer is 54. Question 4. Write down a multiple of 7 between 40 and 50. So a number in the 7 times table between 40 and 50. So we can have 6 times 7, which is 42, or 7 times 7, which is 49. So either 42 or 49 would be good for that one. Work out 2.5 squared. 2.5 squared. And that's 25 over 4 as a fraction. To change a fraction to a decimal, you press this S to D button. So it's 6.25 as a decimal. If you give your answer as a fraction or a decimal, that would be okay. A film starts at 7:55 p.m. The film lasts 88 minutes. What time does the film finish? So again, I'll do this with a calculator and without. Let's do it without first. So it's 7:55 p.m. How many minutes till the next hour? That'd be 5 minutes. So 5 minutes until 8 p.m. Then we've still got over an hour left. Till 9 p.m. will be another 60 minutes. So it's 65 minutes now in total to 9 p.m. How many left? 88. Take away 65. 23. So 23 more minutes. It will be 9:23 p.m. So that was, well, I did use a calculator, but that was the without a calculator method. With a calculator, we can use this time button. So 7 hours and 55 minutes. And we want to add on 88 minutes. So add on 0 hours, 88 minutes. So 7 hours, 55 minutes plus 0 hours, 88 minutes gets us to 9 hours, 23 minutes, 9:23. 9:23 p.m. Question 7. A taxi company uses the rule below to work out the cost of a journey. So the fare is £1.50 plus £2.25 per mile. Work out the cost of a 6-mile journey. So it's £1.50 plus £2.25 times 6. And we can just type that into the calculator and we'll find the cost, which is £15. Question 8. There are some counters in a bag. The table shows the number of counters of each colour. So we've got 7 red, 2 blue, 5 yellow, and 3 green. A counter is taken at random. Write down the probability that it's green. So how many counters do we have in total? We've got 7 plus 2 plus 5 plus 3. So 17 in total. So it's out of 17. When we're writing a probability, it needs to be a fraction, a decimal, or a percentage. In this case, a fraction is going to be easiest. So there are 3 green out of 17 in total. So it's 3/17. Part B, write down the probability the counter is not blue. So there are 2 blue, 17 in total. 17 take away 2 is 15. So 15 not blue out of 17 in total. So the probability of getting one that's not blue is 15/17. Question 9. Felicity has 3 bags of sweets, A, B, and C. Bag A and B have the same number of sweets. Bag C has 35 sweets. In the 3 bags, there's 119 sweets. Work out the number of sweets in bag A. So we've got 119 sweets in all 3 together. If we take away C, which is 35, 119 take away 35 is 84. So that's taking away C, so that's in A and B. And A and B have the same number. So all we've got to do, split that 84 in half, divide it equally. There'll be 42 in bag A and 42 in bag B. So the answer is 42. Question 10. So we've got 2 shapes on a centimetre grid. Part A, find the area of shape P. So we've got a triangle. So we could do this by counting the squares. We've got a centimetre grid, so we can count the squares, or we can use the formula. So the area of a triangle is half times the base times the height. Half of the base times height. So either half times base times height or base times height over 2. Either one of those, they're the same, will find us the area of the triangle. So the base is 4 centimeters. The height, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 centimeters. So the area is 4 times 6 divided by 2, or half of 4 times 6. That's going to be 12 centimeters squared. You could have done that by counting the squares, but it's good to know the formula in case we don't have a centimeter grid. Write down the mathematical name for shape Q. So you can see it's got 2 sets of parallel lines. They're parallel and they're parallel. It's called a parallelogram. And find the area of shape Q. So a parallelogram is just like a rectangle. It's base times height. So we've got a base of 3, got a height of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the area is 3 times 5. So that's 15 centimeters squared. Question 11. Work out 3/8 of 140. Again, when we have of, we can do it times. So we can do 3/8 times 140. And that will get us straight to the answer. 3/8 times 140 is 52.5. So that's the answer. I'll show you it another way as well. So we're splitting 140 up into 8 parts. So we've got 8 parts here, and the whole block is worth 140. So if we do 140 divided by 8, each part is worth 17.5. 17.5, 17.5, 17.5, 17.5, 17.5, 17.5, 17.5. So we should have 8 of them. What is 3 of them? So 3 17.5s makes 52.5. Part B, write the following fractions in order of size. Start with the smallest fraction. There are different ways of doing this one. We can make all the fractions, all the denominators the same, and then they'll be easy to compare. Or because it's a calculator paper, we've also got the option of changing them all into decimals. So if you write 7/8 in a calculator, and then press this S to D button, you can change it into a decimal and then compare the decimals instead. So either one of those two methods would be fine. I'll do both. So we've got 0.875, 13/16 is 0.8125, 3/4 is 0.75, and 25/32 is 0.78125. So now we can just order them. So let's look at tenths first. So we've got 2 8s and 2 7s. So the 7s are the smallest. Then let's compare the 2 7s in the hundredths column. So we've got a 5 and an 8. So the 5's smaller. So this is the smallest, the second smallest, and then these two that both had an 8 in the tenths. This one's got a 1 in the hundredths. This one's got a 7. So 1's smaller. That's number 3, number 4. If we made the fractions, make the denominators the same. So we've got 32, 4, 16, and 8. So 32 is in the 4, the 16, and the 8 times table. So we could times top and bottom by 4 for this one, double top and bottom for this one, and times top and bottom by 8 here. So we'll have 28/32, 26/32, 24/32, and 25/32. So we can see again 1, 2, 3, 4. Question 12. The first term of a sequence of numbers is 17. The term-to-term rule is add 4. So we start with 17, then we add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4, and so on. Is 92 a number in this sequence? Give a reason for your answer. So I immediately know it's not, because all the numbers in the sequence are odd. So we've only got odd numbers in this sequence. So 92 can't be. If we weren't going to do it that way, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, keep going, adding 4 on, and we'll see that 89 and 93 are. So we could have said no, 89 and 93 are in the sequence, but that would have been a longer method. Question 13. Anne and George did a test. The total for the test was 75 marks. Anne got 72%. George got 55 out of 75. Who got the highest mark? So we need to know what 72% of 75 is. So we can do 72% times 75. Which gives us 54. You can also do this by changing the percent into a decimal and doing 0.72 times 75. Either way, you will get the same mark, same answer, 54. So 54 marks for Anne, 55 for George. So George got the highest mark. Question 14. Enlarge the shaded triangle by scale factor 1.5, center at the origin. So our new triangle, scale factor 1.5, is going to be 1.5 times as far away from this point. So this bottom corner, it was 4 right and 4 up. I'm going to write that as a vector. 4 right, 4 up. If I times that by 1.5, 4 times 1.5 is 6. So if I times that by 1.5, it's going to be 6, 6. So to be 1.5 times as far away, it's going to have to be 6 right, 6 up. So this point moves to here. And we can do the same for every point. So this one was 6 right, 4 up. If I times that by 1.5, 1.5 times as far away from the origin, 1.5 times 6 is 9. 1.5 times 4, again, is still 6. So it's 9, 6. So 9 along. No, not there. 9 along and 6 up. And that goes up to here. And we can do the same for this point as well, even though you can probably tell where it's going to go. It was 4 along, 6 up to start with. Times it by 1.5. So that would be 6, 9. So 6 along, 9 up. So our new shape is here. And you can see the one before had a base of 2. 1.5 times 2 is 3. And the height was 2, now it's 3. And it's every point is 1.5 times as far away from the origin. And you can join lines up through these points, and you'll see they all line up. So any enlargement will line up going through the center. Question 15. You can use this graph to change between litres and pints. So it's a conversion graph. Change 10 litres to pints. So we've got 10 litres here. We go up to the line and then along and read off what we have. So it's exactly halfway between 15 and 20. So that's going to be 17.5. So each little box is worth a 0.5. So it goes 15, 15.5, 16, 16.5, 17, 17.5. So our answer is 17.5 pints. Change 90 pints to litres. So we can see 90 isn't on our graph. It only goes up to 35. So how can we make a 90? The easiest way is probably to get 30 and then times it by 3. So 30 pints is how many litres? So along to the line, down, and that is, it goes 15, 2 boxes along for 16, another 2 along, 17. So 30 pints is 17 litres. So 3 lots of this, so times it by 3, 90 pints is equal to 17 times 3, which is 51. So 51 litres. Question 16. The table shows some information about the colours of cars parked in a car park. We need to draw an accurate pie chart to show this information. So to draw a pie chart, we need to work out what angle we need for each colour in this case. To do that, let's add up how many cars we have, what the frequencies add up to, and that is 60. And the angles, the whole way round, angles around the point, the whole way round have to add up to 360 because we want it to make the full circle. So what do we have to times by to go from 60 to 360? If we do 360 divided by 60, we get 6. So we're going to be multiplying by 6. 5 6s are 30. 6 15s, that's 90. And then 6 16s is 1 more 6, that's 96. 6 times 24 is 144. So we want 144 degrees for black, 96 degrees for silver, 90 degrees for white, and 30 for blue. So what we want to do, we want to get the center. So this point here, the center of our protractor, lined up with the center of the circle. So this point here. So around looks about there. And I'm going to spin it around. So the 0 lines up with the line. Then I'm going to measure around 144 degrees. So all the way around to 144, which is there. Then take it away, and I'll use a ruler to draw a straight line joining up there. So that is, I'll label it with a pen, not a ruler, black. And then I need to go again. I'm lining up the center, but this time I need it spun round, so 0 is on my new line. Then I'm measuring 96 degrees for silver, so 0 all the way up to 96. That looks like 95, that's 96. Take it away, use the ruler. That's 96 degrees, and that's silver. And one more time, the center, on the center of the circle, spin it round to line up 0 with the line. And then we want 90 degrees now this time. Join up the line. So 90 degrees is white, and then what's left is blue. Question 17. The accurate scale drawing shows a field. The field has a real length of 49.5 meters. Find an estimate for the real area of the field. So it's accurate. It's an accurate scale drawing. So we can work out a scale for it. If we measure the length, we get 9 centimeters. So 9 centimeters and that's equal to 49.5 meters in real life. So every 9 centimeters on the drawing is 49.5 meters in real life. And if we divide by 9, we get 5.5. So every 1 centimeter on the drawing is 5.5 meters in real life. So that means we can find the width. So it's 4 centimeters on the drawing. That's 4 centimeters. So in real life, 4 times 5.5, that's 22. 22 meters. So it's 22 meters in real life. So the area is length times width, area of a rectangle, length times width. So we want 49.5 times 22. 49.5 times 22, and we get 1089. And it's in meters squared. Question 18, factorize. Factorize means put into brackets. What can we take out of both of these terms? 10 and 15 are both in the 5 times table. So 5 comes on the outside. 5 times something is 10. That's 2. Keep the minus. 5 times something is 15a. That is 3a. Part B, factorize fully. When it says factorize fully, it means we need to take out everything we can. So we've got 3 and 6. They're both in the 3 times table. We've got x squared and x. They've both got an x in them. And y squared have both got a y in them. What do I have to times 3xy by to get 3x squared y? So x times x makes x squared. That's the only difference. So we want another x inside. 3 times something makes 6. That's 2. We've already got the x, and y times y makes y squared. So that is our answer. If we expand the bracket, we go back to what we started with. Question 19. Last season, the football team scored 38 goals. This season, the football team scored 77 goals. Work out the percentage increase in the number of goals scored. So what is the increase? That's the difference. How many more goals have they scored? So 77, take away 38 is 39. So they've scored 39 more goals. We want the percentage increase. So it's going to be how much it's changed by. What's the increase? Divided by the original amount times 100 to make it a percentage. So it's increased by 39. It was originally 38, and we're going to multiply that by 100 to make it a percentage. So 39 over 38 times 100, and that is 102.6. So 102.6% is the increase. It's 100% would be doubling. 100% increase, it would have doubled, and it's just more than doubled because it increased by 39, not 38. So the answer seems sensible. Question 20. The height of a building is 310 meters. Correct to the nearest meter. Complete the error interval for the height of the building. So it's 310 meters to the nearest meter. So the next one up is 311. The one down is 309. So to be rounded to 310, it must be in between these two midpoints. So halfway between 309 and 310 is 309.5. Halfway between 310 and 311 is 310.5. So these are the answers. They're the numbers we're looking for. So the error interval in total is this. So we've got these inequality signs here. So this says h is bigger than or equal to 309.5, but it's less than 310.5. So it can go anything all the way up to 310.5, just can't include 310.5, because if it was exactly that, it would have rounded up to 311. Question 21. Work out 3.12 times 10 to the power of negative 6 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power of negative 4. Give your answer in standard form. So these are In standard form, this is what standard form looks like. It's a number between 1 and 10 times 10 to a power. We can just type this into the calculator and it will give us an answer. It may or may not be in standard form, but we can deal with that afterwards. So you can type it in exactly how it looks here, using the brackets and everything, or the alternative to that. So if I was to do that, I would write bracket 3.12 times 10 to the power of negative 6, and then click along, close bracket, divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power of negative 4, click along, close the bracket, equals, and get 0.01248. The alternative to that is using this button down here, a standard form button. So you can just write 3.12 times 10 to the power of negative 6. You don't have to write it as a power. You just write the button and then negative 6 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power of negative 4, and you get the same answer. That is the answer, but it's not in standard form. We need a number between 1 and 10 times 10 to a power. So between 1 and 10, we'll have 1.248, and then times 10 to the power of something. Now we actually want to divide it by 10 2 times. So the power is negative 2. If the power is a negative 2, it means we're actually dividing by 10. So it's 1.248 divided by 10 2 times. But to be in standard form, we need to write a times here. And instead of a divide, we put the power as negative. So that is the answer. And you can check the answer. So if we write 1.248 times 10 to the power of negative 2, we can see that it's the same. Question 22. 3 buses, bus A, bus B, and bus C, all use the same bus stop. Bus A runs every 10 minutes. Bus B runs every 12 minutes. Bus C runs every 14 minutes. All 3 buses are at the bus stop at 11 AM. What time will all 3 buses next be at the bus stop? So we could do this by listing all the times. So 11, 11:10 for bus A, it'd be at 11, then 11:10, then 11:20, 11:30, and so on. For bus B, it'd be at 11, then 11:12, 11:24, 11:36, and so on. And we'll have to keep listing them until we get one the same. But it's going to take such a long time, we need a better method. What we're actually working out in this question is the lowest common multiple of 10, 12, and 14. So the lowest number that's in the 10 times table and the 12 times table and the 14 times table. So the lowest number that's in all 3 times tables. And we can do that using their prime factors. So 10 is 2 times 5, 14 is 2 times 7, and 12 is 2 times 6, 6 is 2 times 3. So 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. So this is the numbers written as a product of their prime factors. And then we want to see, so 10, 12, and 14. I'm drawing them in a Venn diagram. So in all 3, in 10, 12, and 14, I need a 2. And in the 10 section only, a 5. 12 section only, another 2 and 3. And the 14 section only is a 7. So the lowest common multiple is these numbers times together. So it's 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. So we're only including this 2 once, not all 3 times. We're just including it once because it's common to all of them. And if we work out 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 7, we get 420. So it takes 420 minutes for all three to be at the same time. To change minutes into hours, we can divide by 60. So it is 7 hours later. 7 hours after 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. plus 7 hours will be 6 p.m. Question 23. The table gives information about the times taken in seconds by 20 students to run a race. Work out an estimate for the mean time. So to find the mean, we want to add them all up and divide by how many. The only problem is we don't know their exact times. So we've got 2 students ran between 20 and 25 seconds. We don't know exactly how long. 3 students were between 35 and 45 seconds, but we don't know their exact times. So that's why it's an estimate, because we're going to just use a best guess, and that is the midpoint. So halfway between 20 and 25, 22.5. Halfway between 25 and 30 is 27.5. And we've got 32.5, and halfway between 35 and 45 is 40. So we're going to estimate 2 students both did 22.5. So 2 times 22.5. So this is midpoint times frequency. 2 22.5s, 10 27.5s. We've got 5 32.5s. And 3 40s. So add them all together. We get 602.5. And there are 20 students. So all the times add up to 602.5. There are 20 students, so we divide by 20. So we get 30.125. So 30.125 seconds. And you can see it's a sensible answer because it's roughly in the middle of the times. Question 24. ABCD is a trapezium. AB and DC are parallel lines. Find the sides of angle BCD. So here we have parallel lines. So we can make an equation. So these 2 angles in this C shape are called co-interior angles. Doesn't look like it says co-interior. Co-interior angles. Co-interior angles, and they add up to 180 degrees. If you walked along one parallel line, then down the line between them, and back along the other one, you would have turned around, you'd be going back where you came from. You would have gone 180 degrees. So they must add up to 180 degrees. So we can make that into an equation, and we can say 2x plus 19 plus 3x minus 6 must equal 180. This one and this one add up to make 180. So 2x and 3x make 5x. 19 take away 6 is 13. So 5x plus 13 equals 180. We can get rid of a plus 13 by taking 13 away from both sides. So take 13 away from both sides of the equal sign. That gives us 5x equals 180 take away 13, which is 167, but do use the calculator so you don't make a mistake. And then 5x equals 167. To get x by itself, we divide both sides by 5. So divide by 5, 33.4. So x is 33.4. So now we can find out what all of these angles are because we know what x is. And it's easy to find the missing one. And what we can actually do, even easier than finding them all out, we know that we've got another set of co-interior angles here. So these two add up to 180 as well. So if we just work out 4 times 33.4, take away 57, which is 76.6. This one is 76.6 degrees. And the angle we want is going to be 180, take away 76.6. And that is 103.4. So there is our answer, 103.4 degrees. Complete the table of values for y equals 7 plus 2x minus x squared. So y is equal to 7 plus 2x's minus x squared. And we can just use the calculator for this. Wherever we have an x, we can write brackets, and then we can put the number we want to find, the x value of the one we want to find. So for 4, just put 4 inside the brackets. So that will look like 7 plus 2 4s minus 4 squared. And it's important to use these brackets because when we get to the negative numbers, the calculator will start making mistakes if we don't have it inside the brackets. 7 plus 2 4s minus 4 squared, and that's negative 1. So the 4, when x is 4, y is negative 1. I then just click in and change the 4s to 3s. So when x is 3, y is 4. I then again change them to 2s. When x is 2, y is 7, and 1. That's 8. 0 is going to be 7. And the pattern's going to repeat. I will finish it. So negative 1. This is going to be 4. I won't finish it. So we've got 8, 7, 7 on both sides. So 8 in the middle, then 7, 7, 4, 4. It's going to be minus 1, minus 1. Quadratic graphs are symmetrical. They make a symmetrical shape. And this is a quadratic graph because it's an x squared graph. The highest power is an x squared. So we can make these into coordinates: negative 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 1, negative 1, 4, 0, 7, 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 4, and 4, negative 1. And we need to join them up with a curve. So it looks like that. And that's our graph. Use your graph to find estimates of the solutions to the equation 7 plus 2x minus x squared equals 0. So our original was y, our graph is this, and we want the solutions to this. So we can see that y has been changed into 0. So it's when y is equal to 0, and that's where it crosses the x-axis. So they are the solutions to the equation, and we'll just read them off. So it looks like negative 1.8, and that's either 3.8 or 3.9. I write 3.8, but if you did write either, it would be okay. So I've got negative 1.8 and 3.8. Question 26. Josh drove 39 miles from Luton to Cambridge. He then drove 63 miles from Cambridge to Norwich. Josh's average speed from Luton to Cambridge was 32 miles per hour. Josh took 80 minutes to drive from Cambridge to Norwich. Work out Josh's average speed for his total drive. So this is speed is equal to the distance divided by time. And when it's the total, the average speed, it's going to be the total distance divided by the total time. So that's what we need to answer this question. We need to know the total distance and the total time. And we actually know the total distance already. So it's 39 miles and 63 miles. So that's 102 miles. So that's the total distance. How about the time? So from Luton to Cambridge, that was the first part of his journey. 39 miles. And we know the speed, 32 miles per hour. So speed equals distance over time. So speed equals distance divided by time. So 32 equals 39 over t for the Luton to Cambridge part. To get rid of a divide, we times. So 32 times the time is equal to 39. And then divide by 32. So the time is 39 over 32, which is 1.21875. 875, and it was miles per hour per miles. So this is in hours. How about the other part of the journey? So that's Cambridge to Norwich. Cambridge to Norwich, it's 80 minutes. We can't have one in minutes and the other one in hours. So we want to change minutes into hours. Divide by 60. And that's 4/3 or 1.3 recurring. So the total time is going to be these two added together. So 1.21875 plus 1.33333 and so on. So I've got this one in the calculator already. So I'll do plus 1.21875. That's our total time of 2.552 and so on. 2.552 hours. So our total distance divided by total time, that's what we want. And we know them now, so it's 102 divided by our answer that I'll keep in the calculator. So it's 102 divided by the last answer. And that is 39.97. 39.97 miles per hour. Question 27. Millie invests £2,000 in a savings account for 4 years. She gets 3.9% per year compound interest. Work out how much money Millie will have after 4 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest pound. So we've got £2,000. We need to add on 3.9% each year. And it's compound interest. So we're going to be adding on to the new amount each time. We don't just work out 3.9% and add it on 4 times, like work out 3.9% and times it by 4. That would be called simple interest. We need to add on. The amount of interest is going to go up every year. It won't be the same amount every year. So every year we've got 100% and we add on 3.9%. So it's 103.9% we want each year. And to work out 103.9%, I'm going to write it as a decimal, 1.039. So to change a percent to a decimal, I'm dividing by 100. So I'm going to have 2,000, and I'm going to times it by 1.039. And that is my calculation that adds on 3.9%. So this adds on 3.9%. That's what I want to do. I'm going to do it 4 times. So I can write it like this if I want to. 4 times. Add it on 4 times. But the quick way of writing that, we've got 4 of them, times together, 1.039 to the power of 4. So 2,000 times 1.039 to the power of 4, and that is 2,331 pounds to the nearest pound. Question 28. Work out the sides of angle BAC. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So we've got a right angle triangle. If it was all 3 lengths in the question, it'll be a Pythagoras question. It's not, it's got an angle in, so it's SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. And what's in the question? So opposite the angle is called the opposite. The longest side is called the hypotenuse. And in between the angle and the right angle is called the adjacent. Okay, next to the angle and the right angle. So I've got the adjacent. I've got A in the question. I've got O in the question. I don't have H. So it's tan, it's TOA. So tan with the angle, tan x is the opposite divided by the adjacent. 7.5 divided by 12.1. When we're finding the angle, we use shift tan. So to get tan away from x, the opposite of tan is arctan. On the button, it's shift. On the calculator, it's shift tan. So shift tan, it brings up this tan minus 1. So x is tan minus 1, shift tan, 7.5 over 12.1. 7.5 over 12.1. Press equals, and that is our answer, 31.8. So it's 31.8 degrees. Question 29. The diagram shows triangle ABC. ADB is a straight line. The sides of angle BCD to the sides of angle ACD, they're in the ratio 2 to 3. So 2 parts to 3 parts. And we've got a triangle here. We know angles in a triangle add up to 180. We are working out ADC. So we want this angle here. So firstly, we'll use the big triangle. And we'll use the ratio. So 180 take away 83, take away 52. Is 45 degrees. So this total angle here, the total angle is 45. We need to split it in the ratio 2 to 3. So 2 parts to 3 parts. So there are 5 parts in total. 45 divided by 5 is 9. So the smaller angle, BCD, is 2 9s, which is 18. The bigger angle is 3 9s, 27. So now we can use this triangle here, ACD. And again, angles in a triangle add up to 180. So 180 take away 52 and take away 27 is 101. So our answer is 101 degrees. And question 30. The diagram shows a solid triangular prism. The prism is made from wood, density 0.6 grams per centimeter cubed, work out the mass. So density is equal to mass over volume. We're working out the mass, so times by volume. So we want mass, and it's going to be density times volume. So we know density, we just need to work out the volume. So the volume of a prism is the area of the cross section times how far back it goes. And the cross section is a triangle. Area of a triangle is base times height over 2. So 8 times 10 over 2. Area of triangle. 8 times 10 is 80. Half of that is 40. So it's 40 centimeters squared. So volume is the area of the cross section times how far back it goes. 40 times 15. And that is 600. And it's volume, it's in centimeters cubed now. So we know the volume is 600. The density is 0.6. So the mass is density times volume. So 600 times 0.6, and that is 360. And it's a mass, it's in grams.